On October 27th, the Tree of Life Synagogue found in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania was attacked. The massacre led to 11 deaths. 7 others were wounded. The Anti-Defamation League, a civil rights and human relations organization, is quoted by CNN as believing that the massacre was the deadliest attack on the Jewish community in the history of the United States. Following this attack, the United States banded together and began to support those who were suffering. However, as time passed, headlines inevitably shifted to more recent natural disasters and tragic events. But in a social climate that can appear full of hate and anger towards one another, I believe it is important that we use this event to create a community built on love. To establish this community, I believe we must support the Jewish Federation of Greater Pittsburgh because of the rise in hate crimes and anti-Jewish bias, a single demonstration of love, and the relief we can continue to provide for those who have been affected. Now, to understand how we can support the Jewish Federation of Greater Pittsburgh, we must first begin by understanding how American citizens are being threatened based on their religious faith. The Anti-Defamation League, a group that specifically tracks and monitors fights anti-Semitism. There were nearly 2,000 incidents motivated by anti-Jewish bias in 2017 alone. These incidents included physical assaults, vandalism, and attacks on Jewish institutions. This was a 57% spike in incidents over the year before. Now, to group all of these, we can relate them as a hate crime. The FBI defines a hate crime as a traditional offense like murder, arson, or vandalism, but with an added element of bias. When understanding these numbers in reality, it can seem overwhelming and heartbreaking that nearly 2,000 occurred in a single year alone. How your donations and help can truly resist such hate can seem depressing, less impactful, meaningless. However, I urge you that when considering whether your support can truly make an impact, that it is important to consider and remember that one single demonstration of empathy can inspire others. One relatable story comes from The Athletic. It found that following the shooting, Monumental Sports and Entertainment Foundation inspired others. The foundation raised more than $1 million between the Washington Capitals and Washington Wizards, their NHL and NBA affiliates respectively, during 2018. The Capitals decided that following the shooting, they would donate the proceeds of an upcoming 50-50 raffle to the Jewish Federation of Greater Pittsburgh. The fan who won this raffle decided that in addition to the proceeds being donated, he would donate his earnings as well. The entire prize pool, which was over $38,500, was donated to the Jewish Federation of Greater Pittsburgh. This fan, following a heartbreaking and devastating event, decided that rather than simply keep the money and understand that the Federation was already being supported by this foundation, decided that his single act could inspire others, that his single act was very purposeful. So, once the decision has been made to support the Tree of Life Synagogue, the most important element is that the aid we are providing can be sustained and unforgotten. By November 13th, the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette reported that the Pittsburgh Jewish Community Relief Fund Committee, which was created by the Federation, had grown to $3.65 million. This number encapsulates the national heartbreak and support that American citizens are trying to show for their fellow victims. I believe that this support can be grouped under a single Jewish concept. That concept is tikkun olam. Tikkun olam was defined as learning to give as acts of kindness performed to perfect or repair the world. Now, following such a heartbreaking and devastating attack, we cannot believe that we can simply perfect the world with donations. However, I believe that through single acts of kindness, empathy, support, that we can slowly begin to repair it. If we can continue to provide support for the Jewish Federation of Greater Pittsburgh, I believe a community of love can be created to resist the hate found in such cruel acts of violence. When the attack on the Tree of Life synagogue occurred, the reaction appeared to be a mixture of sadness and a lack of surprise. This lack of surprise seemed to be a result of the numerous shootings that have occurred in the United States over the past few years. But rather than focusing on the complex issues involved with proposing law changes and whether or not people should be able to own firearms, I believe the most powerful responses to this violence are ones founded on love. By coming together and helping the victims of this attack through donations to the Jewish Federation of Greater Pittsburgh, we can acknowledge our desire to create a peaceful world for everyone. It is time to truly begin creating that world. Our Tikkun Olam responsibility starts now.